Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're gonna be talking about Toe, 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way. Probably my favorite spinoff of the 90 Day franchise. I love Toe and I love that it's back. Even with 4 couples, you guys, I am so excited about this season. I think it's gonna be great. Even the couples that are returning, they're delivering storylines, and the super dark dramatic shit like with Devin, we're not gonna see that. Jenny and Sumit, it's hilarious. Corey and Evelyn, while they're frustrating because I don't find any authenticity in their storyline, they're also delivering some pretty comic relief. But what has a lot of people talking this week is that Ari and Biniyam really started off this season with a bang, with Ari revealing that she has invited her ex-husband to come visit, and we were all a little taken aback and a little uncomfortable with how friendly they were, how they're still best friends, and just how Ari completely lights up when she's talking to Leandro. Okay, so just for a little backstory on Leandro and Ari has always had this love of traveling. We learned this from her last season in season 2 of The Other Way. In season 2 of The Other Way, we met her when I think she was about 5 or 6 months pregnant, and she was getting ready to move back to Ethiopia to be with the father of her child, Biniyam. They really didn't know each other very well because it was kind of a whirlwind romance. She got pregnant unexpectedly. Kind of gives you similar storyline vibes to Ariana and Sherlon. If you guys are watching 90 Day Fiancé, the Caribbean Love in Paradise, I'm not sure how long that title actually is, but it's a very similar storyline, although I do think Ari and Biniyam had a more established relationship. So anyways, we learn in season 2 that Ari, she was traveling through Ethiopia because she was fresh off her divorce, and that is how she met Biniyam. But we really didn't know very much about Ari's ex-husband, and I personally, because it never really came up throughout the season, I didn't really pay much attention to it. I just think no one really talked about it very much. But what we know is that they were married when Ari was 19. I think Leandro was a couple years older than her. They met in Argentina. Ari was traveling through Argentina with her mother. And in what we come to know as true Ari fashion, she refuses to go home. So she stays in Argentina for a couple years. She meets Leandro. They get married, I think, after about 6 months of dating. Then they move back to the United States. She mentioned in this first episode, she brought him over. I'm not sure if it was on a K-1 visa or a spousal visa. I'll have to go back and check, or someone can comment and let me know. Anyways, they were married for 10 years. And the reason why they broke up is because he wanted to pursue his education. He wanted to enter a doctorate program, and she just wanted to travel. Honestly, this is one of the most bizarre breakup stories that I think I've ever heard. She did mention that they had been living separately for at least a couple years prior to her actually traveling and going to Ethiopia. So I don't know how long the relationship was truly over. It honestly, to me, it really doesn't seem like it's even truly over to me. Just from what we're seeing on TV, it seems that Leandro would be the person that Ari would want to be with if all of the criteria met for her to actually do that. So let's just take a look at this clip from the first episode of season 3 of The Other Way of how Ari describes their breakup.
I almost called you babe because I'm so used to saying. When I was 19, I was living and studying in Argentina when I met Leandro. We became close very, very, very fast and got married 6 months later. And then I brought him to the US on a spousal visa. We were married for like 10 years. But the last 3 years, we were not living together. I decided I wanted to travel, and he wanted to focus on getting his doctorate. So we broke up. But Leandro and I are still best friends.
It's just, you know, I think from that clip and from her just speaking to her, to Leandro via FaceTime, it's very clear. She absolutely beams when she talks to him. I have never seen her smile more. She definitely, to me, never looks that just light and happy when she's around Biniyam. So there's something definitely afoot, in my opinion. And I think that Biniyam's sisters have every right to be super like, what? But anyway, speaking of them, let's take a look at what their reaction, because it was hysterical. One of the best one-liners to ever come out of this series or this franchise. That sounds like some white people shit. Let's just take a look at what Biniyam's sisters had to say.
But I have really good news, actually. My ex-husband is coming to visit me.
You say that is good news? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's good news. Why is it not good news? He's my best friend.
I think this is why people, we don't do that. We don't bring our ex in the house and let him to sleep.
You know, Ariela, I hear about what happened at New Jersey.
What?
Huh?
What?
Why you didn't tell me? Like, yeah, last time when you go on the, was it Leandro, you hang out?
Yeah, I know. I know. We did. We hung out. So.
No, I mean, like, you told me he stayed in your house alone and he was 5 months or 4 months pregnant.
Secret, but it is now and it happened again.
Why you doesn't tell me? Are you hide me like something?
No, because
or like something?
no, I'm not hiding it from you, but I didn't tell you because I know that you're gonna be jealous and you're so far away.
Okay, so what I could deduce, I think it's what I was so confused by is watching them on season 2. I guess I had just kind of assumed, like, she said she had just gotten divorced, but I feel like the saying just gotten divorced, I don't know, that could mean a year, I guess that could mean a day. I didn't really put much thought into, well, what does just divorced really mean? So this is what I could deduce is the timeline that we're being told. So Ari and Leandro, they file for divorce. Ari decides to go traveling like really soon after. She meets Biniyam in Ethiopia while traveling. She gets pregnant 3 months after meeting Biniyam. And this is an interesting track record because her and Leandro got married 6 months after they met. After she gets pregnant, she decides to go back to New Jersey. Now, I do want to find out more about why she decided to go back to New Jersey. I don't think we've really covered that. I don't know. I can't remember. I guess I'll have to go back and see. I know that the visitor's visa was going to be really hard for Biniyam to get, and ultimately that is why she decided to go back to Ethiopia. So I would love to know more about what her intention was when she went back to New Jersey. Well, when she went back to New Jersey, she has stated several times in this episode, just the first episode, that Leandro is her best friend, that they are, you know, like brother and sister, which I don't think, I don't know. I certainly don't giggle and beam and light up like that around my brothers. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. I love my brother. I consider my brother to be my best friend. We're 15 months apart. We're incredibly close, but I certainly don't. I've never talked to my brother and go, oh my God, I've accidentally called you babe. And I actually would probably have more of a reason to, because my husband and my brother have the same first name. They're both named Matt. So I had to change my husband's name in my phone so that I didn't accidentally text my brother something that was meant for my husband, because that would be super embarrassing. Anyways, I digress, as I am known to do. So we learn that when Ari was in New Jersey, I don't know where Leandro was living, if he was living out of state, if he was living nearby, but he comes to stay with her, and they actually stayed in the same, I don't know, apartment for a period of time, for 2 weeks, I think, and she was 4 or 5 months pregnant. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know, because in a second, I'm going to touch on what I think about like relationships with maintaining relationships or friendships with exes, and it's incredibly nuanced. So you guys, I want to hear everyone's opinion on this, but to actually have someone live with you when you're pregnant and then not tell the father of your child who you're in a relationship with, about it because you thought he was going to interpret it a type of way makes it kind of seem that you knew it was going to look a type of way. So I don't know. Now, if this happened when she was 4 or 5 months pregnant, that is when we met Ari on her original season 2 of The Other Way. So it's like this just happened. She gets, like, she was probably already in the casting process for the show. They start filming her. She goes to Ethiopia. And I don't know, there just seems to be unresolved emotions. I mean, it is so obvious that there is something there. So anyway, she's back in Ethiopia. She has the baby, and now Leandro has come to visit, and this is where we're at. And if I was Biniyam, I mean, I have a lot of criticisms about Biniyam and how present he has been as a partner in this journey of parenthood. But I mean, that could be a separate video. If I was Biniyam and my husband said, oh yeah, my ex-girlfriend, or I mean, even more than that, ex-wife of 10 years, someone he was married to for a third of his life, was going to come visit us in a whole ass other country, me personally, I'd be like, what the fuck? The whole concept of maintaining a friendship with an ex, it's incredibly nuanced, and I think ultimately it comes down to a case-by-case basis. I think first and foremost, for the person, if you're still friendly or on friendly terms with your ex, it's up to you to be completely open and transparent with your partner about the nature of that relationship, just so that it doesn't look like anything it's not if you're truly just friends. Also, you have to take into consideration your partner's feelings. Do they have a past where maybe they were told we're just friends and it turned out to not be just friends? So I think that's important to take past relationships into consideration when you're talking about something like that. So again, there's no one size fits all rule when it comes to that. Some people care more than others about maintaining relationships with exes. I think that's also something that needs to be taken into consideration. So there's no yes, this is right, or no, this is wrong. I've seen a lot of people bring up Tim and Veronica. We see them on Pillow Talk, and we kind of forget. A lot of people love Tim and Veronica. They think they're amazing friends. They are now fan favorites. So people are like, why do they get a pass, but we're gonna criticize Ari for being friends with her ex? Well, I think we, tend to forget Tim and Veronica caught a lot of shit for their friendship on Tim's season. I think it was before the 90s, season 1, I believe, maybe 1 or 2, I'm not sure, that he was on. And because we didn't know Veronica, I remember thinking it was very strange that Veronica was giving him her engagement ring to propose with. I was like, no, what? No. So I think it's easy to forget that. Now we see them on Pillow Talk and we love them and we think that they're great friends. Additionally, I think they were together for several years or something like a decade, and Veronica has a daughter, and Tim took on the father role and he considers Chloe his daughter and Chloe considers Tim her father. So I think that's a little bit different too. When there is kids involved, obviously you're going to have to maintain a level of friendliness in order to co-parent. So that is completely different. But if there's no kids involved, you're literally just wanting to be friends, it's nuanced. It's definitely nuanced. I remember meeting Ari and Biniyam, their storyline. My daughter was only a couple months old, so I was watching their storyline a little bit differently. I had an emergency C-section. It was really hard for me. My daughter's birth was really hard for me. Postpartum was really hard for me. So I empathized a lot with Ari, especially her anxiety, because I had a lot of that as well. But one of the things I just am so curious about, so you know, Ari, she describes herself as this adventurer, doesn't want to settle down, doesn't stay in one place too long. She wants to go to this country and this country and this country. Has that changed now that she has Avi? I'm curious, because what is so different now she's settling down in Ethiopia when she couldn't settle down with Leandro? I'm really curious, like, has that bug left her, that travel bug? Has it left? Has she gotten it out of her system? I don't know. I personally, I'm pretty much a homebody. I do like to travel, but I like to travel, but I like home. I really like home. I like showering in my shower. I like sleeping in my bed. So I'm not like Ari in that sense. So I'm just, you know, these are some questions that I have, like, has the travel bug left her? I know obviously when you have a kid, it changes your whole world changes. So I'm just super, super curious. We do know that Biniyam and Ari are in the States now. So I'm curious to see how that plays out on this season. Anyways, you guys are gonna have to let me know what you think of this. I know people have so many opinions. I get that, you know, not every breakup is a contentious, hard, like, chaotic mess, you know. Not all breakups are like that. Some people genuinely grow apart very amicably. In a very adult fashion, they decide to part ways, and there is still a level of affection and care there. Totally get it. Totally get still being Facebook friends, liking photos, whatever. This seems a little extra to me, but I want to hear everyone's opinion. So make sure you comment and let me know what you think. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter @Reality Squad, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, have a good one, much love.